now 12 o'clock noon on Wednesday, the 2nd of April, 2025. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the Captain, with my routine update on our navigational progress and the current and forecast weather conditions as we continue our passage towards Broome. Noon today finds us steering a northeasterly course in latitude 18 degrees 47 minutes south, longitude 117 degrees 54 minutes east. We're roughly level in latitude with the cities of Townsville in Queensland, Suva in Fiji, Arica in Chile, Harare in Zimbabwe, and a little closer to us, just 220 nautical miles away to starboard, the Aboriginal community of Bidyadanga, the largest such community in Western Australia. Our closest land to starboard at 83 nautical miles is Bedout Island, named in honour of the French-Canadian naval officer Jacques Bedout by French explorer Nicolas Baudin in the early 1800s. The island lies 26 miles offshore from Larry Point and the mouth of the De Grey River and 60 miles northeast of Port Hedland. It's classified as an 8th nature reserve managed by the Department of Environment and Conservation. It's listed in the Australian Coastal Island Site Register for National Estate. It's also classified by BirdLife International as an important bird area because of the seabird breeding colonies, and the island supports over 1,000 nesting pairs of brown boobies, making it one of the largest colonies in Western Australia. It's also home to many other seabird species, including common noddies, lesser and great frigate birds. And the birds flying around us yesterday were great frigate birds. Bedout Island is marked by a lighthouse, the original one, which was constructed in 1914. The town and port of Port Hedland, the second largest settlement in the Pilbara region, after the city of Karratha, lies abeam to starboard at 95 nautical miles. Port Hedland, home to the indigenous Karil Yarra and Nyamal people, is a container and iron ore port, which was named in honour of the Swedish-born mariner Peter Hedlund, who in 1863 was the first European to note the harbour's existence and the possibility of using it as a port. On our port side, the closest land is Indonesia's Sumba Island, 530 nautical miles distant. Tomorrow will find us in the port of Broome, also known as Rubibi by the indigenous Yawuru people, the largest town in the Kimberley region of Western Australia. Founded on the pearling industry, Broome is now also a resort destination. It was named in 1883 by the Australian explorer and politician Sir John Forrest, who was also the first Premier of Western Australia, in honour of Sir Frederick Broome, the Governor of Western Australia at that time. In 1889, a telegraph undersea cable was laid from Broome to East Java, connecting ultimately to England. That cable came ashore to the west of Broome on what was subsequently named Cable Beach. The beautiful 14-mile white sand beach is famous for its sunset views and beach camel rides, and the occasional visiting crocodile. Our approach to Broome will begin from 04:15 tomorrow morning as we pass Gantung Point on our port side. That point was named by Nicolas Baudin in 1801 in honour of the 18th century French admiral, Honoré Bonpland, who was Napoleon Bonaparte, commander of the Mediterranean and governor of Toulon. That was all in the time when modern-day Australia was still known as New Holland. Footprints from dinosaurs and plant fossils are preserved in the sandstone of the point, and at very low tide, dinosaur footprints can be seen about 30 metres out to sea. Our local pilot boards at 04:30 tomorrow morning, and we anticipate the berth starboard time alongside for around 0600, having spun the ship through 180 degrees. Please take careful note of the port information sheet that's been delivered to your stateroom regarding arrangements for going ashore via shuttle bus to this working port. Also the warnings about the lack of available shelter from the very strong sunshine and limited seating whilst you're waiting ashore to return to the ship. The tidal range in Broome is such that we will at times have steep gangways and also periods when we have to move the gangways from deck to deck. And whilst we'll do this as quickly as possible, there will be times when our guest flow will be reduced down to a single gangway whilst we do this, and that will lead to some congestion at times. Since leaving Exmouth yesterday, we've sailed 318 nautical miles at an average speed of 18 knots, which is 21 miles an hour. We have a further 246 nautical miles to sail to reach Broome tomorrow morning. Our current speed is 18 knots. The depth of water at the moment, 250 metres, 820 feet. The seawater temperature, 30 degrees Celsius, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Sunset tonight, 2 minutes past 6. Sunrise tomorrow morning, 05:57. And the weather right now, we have fine and partly cloudy conditions with a variable light breeze up to 10 knots. The air temperature high, 31 degrees Celsius, 87 degrees Fahrenheit. And we have smooth seas and a negligible swell. And tomorrow in Broome, we're expecting a largely fine and clear weather, initially with cloud building in the afternoon. And south-southwesterly breeze up to 20 knots at times, with a maximum air temperature of 33 degrees Celsius, 92 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, you may be wondering why each of my new broadcasts is preceded by the striking of a bell 8 times. Well, here is the explanation. It's important to observe some form of timekeeping on board a ship to facilitate the smooth running of it. In the early days of their existence, clocks or watches were rare and at best expensive, and therefore out of reach of the ordinary sailor, and time was hence measured by using a sand glass. It was left to one of the ship's boys or midshipmen to be responsible for turning the glass, the most common form of which came with a running time of 30 minutes. It became the custom to sound the ship's bell every time the sand glass was turned to mark the passage of time for all crew members. Ship's navigational watches have historically been divided into 4-hour duty periods, changing at 4, 8 and 12 o'clock night and day, as they still are today. Well, to tell the time from the bell, each watch change was marked by ringing 8 bells. The first half hour of duty was thereafter marked by striking the bell once, with a further strike for each next half hour, multiplying to reach the next set of 8 bells at the next watch change. So, for example, 12:30 would just be 1 strike, 1 p.m. 2 strikes, and so on. And at the change of watch, when 8 bells were sounded and all was in order, it was traditional for the watch officer to shout, 8 bells and all is well. Well, I'm sure that you'll be relieved that we only strike the bell for my broadcast rather than every 30 minutes. A rather more sombre use of the ship's bell was the ringing of 8 bells to mark the death of a crew member, acknowledging that he had reached the end of his final watch. At around 3 o'clock this afternoon, 1500, navigation permitting, we'll be taking advantage of our relatively sedate required speed to reduce speed for a while to carry out a swing and adjustment of our ship's magnetic compass. Even in this day of electronic everything, we're still required to carry a magnetic compass to use should our electronic gyro compasses fail. From time to time, it's necessary to make adjustments to the compass to improve or ensure its accuracy. And part of this process is to have the ship's head point to the main points of the compass to assess our deviation. Adjustment of the compass compensates for this deviations found by moving correctors within the compass body, and the correctors are small magnets and or pieces of soft iron. The whole process is collectively described as swinging the compass, and our magnetic compass located on top of the navigational bridge, and it can be seen from deck 16 forward in front of the guest gym. The whole process should take less than an hour, and once completed, we'll resume our passage towards Broome. During the swinging process, we will likely use our stern thrusters, and you may notice some vibration from these for a while towards the stern of the ship. I hope this doesn't disturb you unduly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. Whatever you plan to do in Broome, I hope you have a great day there. As always, I look forward to seeing you around the ship, and I look forward to broadcasting to you again prior to our 1800 departure tomorrow evening. Thank you for your attention, and once again, a very good afternoon.